What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Bidenomics seems to be running rampant out there, and it's rough to watch. Stores closing. We talked about how it hit the restaurant industry, whether it's Applebee's closing stores or Red Lobster closing 100 stores or McDonald's closing a bunch of stores or many chains in California being forced to close due to the $20 minimum wage, whether it's mom and pop shops that never survive lockdowns. We've basically been in a non-stop, ever since the lockdowns, power vacuum to 3 or 4 retailers, which is exactly what they wanted, in my opinion. Basically, in the next 5 years, you'll be able to get everything you need and be only able to get it from places like Amazon, Walmart, and Target. That'll be it. Like all the mom and pop shops will be gone. Everything will be gone. As of just moments ago, it was reported that Walgreens is closing 2,000 locations, which will undoubtedly create gigantic pharmacy wastelands. Something that I experience. The closest pharmacy to me is a very long drive, and it sucks, and it's a Walgreens, so it's probably going to close down. So, this is very real. Even my own doctors have told me, hey, Amazon does refills. I don't want to give that to Amazon. I already buy enough from them. But let's get into this story because this is going to be pretty bad. I do want to give a shout out to this video sponsor. Are you struggling with taxes, back taxes, or unfiled returns? The IRS is escalating collections, adding 20,000 new agents, and sending over 5 million collection letters to kick off 2024. In these challenging times, your best defense is Tax Network USA. Don't let the IRS take advantage of you. With over 14 years experience, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in back taxes. No matter the size of your tax issue, their expertise is your advantage. They specialize in negotiating with the IRS, aiming to significantly reduce your debt. Tax Network doesn't just negotiate, they also protect your assets from the IRS seizures and manage your yearly returns. Importantly, they are licensed to help with all state tax issues, regardless of where you live in the United States. The clock is ticking. Don't wait as the IRS steps up its game. Seize control of your financial future now. Contact Tax Network USA for immediate relief and expert guidance. Call 1-800-245-6000 or visit tnusa.com/Jeremy, Jeremy, link in the description. Don't let tax issues overpower you. Turn to Tax Network USA and find your path to financial peace of mind. Now, this brand new article, Walgreens to shut over 2,000 U.S. store locations to inflation. That's nearly 30% of their overall locations. By the way, if you look at Walgreens as a stock over the last 6 months, it started at, I guess, $26.65, and it's basically been in a free fall. And then as of Wednesday, late June, they collapsed. I'm guessing the market figured out that they were closing all these stores. So, this stock is down in the last 6 months, 60%. In the last year, it's down 61%. In the last 5 years, it's down 80%. The stock's down 80% over the last 5 years. The future is not bright for Walgreens. And, I wonder why. Well, according to Walgreens themselves, Walgreens just announced they're closing up to 25% of their stores. Walgreens is closing a chunk of their 8,600 stores as the list of struggling retailers grow. The company's CEO is blaming inflation, in part, for the closures as consumers worry that they could create so-called pharmacy deserts. Well, I live in one right now, and I know that it's only going to get worse. You see, Walgreens' rollback could grow pharmacy deserts. Walgreens plan to pare back what, in terms of a significant portion of its 8,600 locations, will likely worsen the pharmacy shortage in underprivileged communities already struggling with access to care. It matters because instead of transforming how healthcare is delivered, retailers' re-entrenchment from primary care could exacerbate health disparities and bodies ill for poor patients who are already less likely to refill prescriptions. During a gloomy earnings call last week, Walgreens CEO Tim Wentworth acknowledged that concerns about growing pharmacy deserts, noting that his chain is the last company standing in a lot of places. Well, yeah, it is. It absolutely is. If you look at, what was this, CVS closes, I believe CVS closed hundreds of locations. Here, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid closing stores, a brick and mortar downfall. This article came out yesterday. And major U.S. pharmacy chains, the major U.S. pharmacy chains have closed locations around the nation in recent years amid the rise in online pharmacies. It's a trend that Jonathan Palmer, senior healthcare analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, projected will continue, especially as the dependency on online services continue to grow. I've always felt like I guess like I've done mail order before. Like sometimes like I have one thing that I take, every day, so they'll give me like a 90-day script for that. And so in those cases, I guess I never really minded the mail order thing, but it never felt weird. I like to have somebody in a white coat, figuring out what goes in there. But anyway, earlier this month, Rite Aid announced that 27 locations in Michigan and Ohio had been added to a growing numbers of stores it planned to close while it restructures under Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The initial list of store closures stood at 154 and has continued to grow throughout the bankruptcy proceedings, which involves footprint optimization. Palmer told Fox News Business that closures were a result of culminating with a couple different things, but online pharmacies have contributed to the downfall. More consumers buy online than ever before, with the next day delivery in many cases. The value proposition of retail pharmacy isn't as compelling. He argued while pharmacies are convenient for household products, they aren't cheap. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, as somebody who needed a pain reliever, I wasn't about to go to the mail for that. I had to go straight to the pharmacy. They are a significant premium to Walmart or Target. Yes, buying at Walgreens is expensive. On top of that, the reimbursement for dispensing the pharmaceuticals have been pressured in managed care payers for years, as Mark Cuban's noted. While suburbia is, quote, relatively safe from such closures, urban and rural communities won't be. Palmer estimated they are likely to face the brunt of the closures. This, he believes, should continue as more and more options gain traction for online prescriptions. The online channel has gotten significant boost in demand during the lockdowns when customers were forced to rely on it. However, the trend has persisted ever since. Whereas once virtual care wasn't common, suddenly online was the only option. Gee, I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. I mean, let's go back to the Walgreens, their comments about inflation, because obviously I think it's more than just, it's more than just inflation. All the things that you used to buy at Walgreens, are now available cheaper elsewhere, which was always the case. You bought those things at Walgreens, because you were already there picking up a script. I mean, that's just very obvious. So if you're getting your script online, which is what they want you all to do, they want you to stay at home and live in a pod and buy your scripts online. If you're doing that, you're not buying anything. Right? You're not buying their overpriced Clorox. You're not buying their Pokemon cards. You're not buying an extra soda. You're not buying. So it's all about people going there for their prescriptions. Walgreens will be closing over 2,000 stores in the United States after it's hit by in the U.S. after it's been hit by inflation and customers cutting down on spending habits. The pharmacy and convenience store chain is looking to turn around its business. It's not going to. It's just going to slowly fade away. That's what happens. Walgreens CEO Tim Wentworth said on a Thursday earnings call that the current pharmacy model is simply not sustainable. Only about 75% of the company's stores account for 100% of the company's operating income. In turn, a quarter of its 8,600 stores will be closing over the next few years, which will result in 2,150 stores closing their doors for good. Changes are imminent, Wentworth said, of the ongoing closures. However, he added, there's not one exact number. Well, here's what I can tell you. Whatever number they give you right now for the press, it's going to be bigger than that. It's just going to be bigger. That's the way this works. You don't have a lot of scenarios where they're like, oh, we actually saved a few stores. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. The company does not expect to have mass layoffs. What do you call closing 2,100 stores? And believes that employees at those locations shutting down can go to others. You don't need to have a number of stores we have today, Wentworth said. Reducing capacity is not a bad thing. From a payer standpoint, he added that the company's, quote, footprint will remain the same, but with fewer locations in place. Well, that seems highly unlikely. How can you close 2,000 stores and have the exact same footprint? That's bananas. I mean, like, he's just lying to you, right? And again, fine, screw Walgreens. Walgreens sucks. Every Walgreens I've ever gone to has been terrible. Every time I needed to get a prescription refilled, usually the people that work there are grouchy and crabby and they're not doing their job right. Every time I call there for a refill, they say it's ready and I show up and I drive 40 minutes to get there and it's not ready. I mean, that happened to me last month. It happens to me all the time. If you look at your local Walgreens and you look at the Google reviews, I bet you it's sub 3. I bet you it's in the 2s. I bet you it's a lot of people saying the same thing I am. I mean, the one thing I need you to do is when I roll up to the window and I'm in extreme pain to fill my prescription, not to tell me that you have to order it and it'll be in tomorrow, which has happened to me before too. The idea that this is just online only is absurd. There's also a lot of bad management at the stores. There's bad supply chain management at the stores. And look, I'm going to have to get my scripts online because that's the only option that people like me are going to have now. Because I'm sure they're going to close the one in my house, which is fine. It's whatever. It's fine. I'm cool. I'm hip. You know, I can order my stuff online. No big deal. That's fine. Who doesn't want my mailman handling all my prescriptions? Who wouldn't want their mailman being able to see what prescriptions are in or shaking it around and saying, oh, it's a package from Walgreens. I wonder what he's got today. Ooh, I'll take these. Yeah, who wouldn't want that? But thanks a lot, Joe Biden. Thanks a lot, greedy companies. Thanks a lot, lockdowns, which were completely designed, in my opinion, to help force these businesses to congeal into one super huge mega corporation, Amazon. It's going to be a rough 2024 and beyond. I hope you were informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.